Well, get those life vests zipped and clipped, strap down those rods, and stow away those tackle bags because we are going fishing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bass to Anglers podcast. I'm your host, Keith Nicewanger, and I hope this episode finds you with 5 for 25 in your live well. I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Where you been, Keith? Well, some of you know that recently I have become the Western representative for Caymas Boats. It's a position that I have wanted for a long time, and earlier this year the opportunity came along, and here I am. In my position, my quest is to open boat dealerships in the Western United States for Caymas Boats. My job is also to promote the line at various events where bass boat customers are present, and generally just to do the intangible things that come along with trying to help sell boats to bass boat customers and ocean boat customers, I might add. I'm still the sales rep for Duckett Fishing, and I am also the sales rep for Bait Pop. So yeah, things have been a little busy, and I just have not had much time to make very many videos recently. But I'm back now, and here we go. Let's take a look at this. By the way, if any of you are looking for a boat or want some information on fishing rods or want to know what this Bait Pop stuff is all about, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. Go to my Instagram page, which is Bass to Anglers Podcast, at Bass to Anglers Podcast, and drop me a direct message. I'll be happy to respond to you. I'm not like one of these people that never responds to their DMs. I always respond to my DMs. So if you have a question about boats, Bait Pop, fishing poles, or anything at all, well, not anything at all, but most things, reach out and I'll be happy to get back to you. I'm always happy to talk to people that view my content. So as I mentioned, part of my work getting back into the fishing industry is to get our products out there for the public to see. Where do you go? Well, there's sports shows, but there really aren't any sports shows going on right now. Not too many anyway. So I find myself getting back into tournament fishing. Tournament fishing are where my customers are. Tournament fishing is where the people who buy the products that I represent are. And so getting back into the tournament fishing world, quite frankly, is something that I've wanted to do for quite a while. It's very exciting to me. I think it's very exciting to my fellow competitors as well, because they see me come along and they know, oh, the winner's pot just got a little bigger. I'm a notorious donator at these events. Trying to get better, wanting to get better, striving to get better. I will get better. But anyway, I like fishing tournaments. I've always liked fishing tournaments. I find that fishing tournaments to me add more to the entire fishing experience. Some people look at fishing as a way to relax. I don't know. It's something that I like to compete at. So I'm really excited to be back into this. I am finding that I am significantly rusty at this. I fished the WAN Bass U.S. Open about a month and a half ago. I didn't video it because it just got too overwhelming. There were too many other things that needed to be done. And anyway, I just couldn't put it all together. But my plan going forward is when I'm at these events is to try and make a video out of it. It's been about 15 years since I last fished tournaments, and a lot of things have changed in that time. A lot of technologies, Randy, have changed in that time. And so needless to say, I've got some learning curves to go through. And rusty, I guess rusty is the word that I would use to describe me. In today's video, I'm fishing a tournament at Southern California's Diamond Valley Reservoir, Diamond Valley Lake. And, well, let's just say that I learned several lessons that I have learned many times before. And I'll share those with you today. So I've been out on Diamond Valley several times in the last month and a half or so. And what I've found is that there are areas of activity. It's a typical fall thing. You find the birds, they're relating to the bait. You'll find fish that are relating to the bait, and that's where you can catch them generally. But what's going on at Diamond Valley right now is there are billions. I don't use that word lightly. There could literally be billions of small stripers, probably in that 6-inch range, that are feeding on pond smelt up on the surface. The birds are going crazy, and that's what I look for. I look for birds diving on bait. And anyway, mixed in with those billions of baby stripers are some smallish largemouth in that 8 to 11-inch range. Not tournament size fish, but they are relating to these bait balls as well. Now, I haven't caught a lot of keepers in the last month and a half. I've caught a few. The ones I have caught have been mixed in with all these micros. So going into this tournament, I thought what I would try to do is target the depth between 35 and 50 feet, figuring that the bigger fish will be closer to the bottom, below all the activity above. And I figured that I would approach the event with spoons and drop shot. These seem to be things that I've been able to catch some fish on in recent weeks. So let's take a look and see how this went. Get those life vests zipped and clipped, follow along, and we'll see what kind of an adventure this turned out to be. Good. How bad I've done.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot. You too.
Thanks. It's rough out there. I think it's worse than last time.
Oh, well, That's what we got going right now. Unbelievable. At least it's the right species. Oh, I broke off. I gotta do. Oh. How could that happen? How could that happen? How could that happen? How could that happen? I know better than to fish 8-pound test line with a jigging spoon. Just let me give you some insight into what I was thinking about. I was very concerned about getting my half-ounce jigging spoon through the schools of the micros. I didn't want to be reeling in baby stripers all day. So I thought I would go with an 8-pound test and a half-ounce jigging spoon to get the bait down through the micros quickly. And as you can see on this in the clip that we just got through watching, I hooked a good one. I hooked probably, well, it was for sure a keeper. I don't know. It was probably in the 2 to 3 pound range. Got him about halfway up to the boat and the line broke. And again, 8-pound line, there's lots of rocks and brush that I'm spooning into. It just probably wasn't a good decision to use that light of line. So, I mean, getting the bait through the micros, that was my thought. But in the other side of getting it through the micros is you got to be able to reel these fish up and get them in the boat. So, lesson learned. Now, ironically, after that fish, I switched out reels. I had a reel that had 12-pound fluorocarbon on it, tied a new spoon onto it, dropped it down, and started catching fish immediately. So ironically, it didn't really even matter what size line I had used. So I kind of overthought the idea of using the 8-pound to begin with. Paid a severe lesson by losing a keeper fish, having it break off halfway up. Lesson learned, spoon with 12-pound fluorocarbon. You don't need to go any lighter than that. Still not the size we're looking for. That's the right species. drop shot fish. A little bigger. Drop shot getting a little bigger. Another thing I learned recently, for years I have fished a drop shot on 6-pound fluorocarbon. It's worked. It's worked for me. But last week or a couple of weeks ago, I fished with a buddy, and we were drop shotting fish here at Diamond Valley, and he outfished me about 7 or 8 to 1 on a drop shot. And I mean, it was just like he was catching them, and I just couldn't get bit. I finally asked him, I said, what size line are you using? And he said, well, I'm using 5-pound fluorocarbon. It seems to make a difference. And so anyway, for this event, I had 5-pound fluorocarbon on. And the first thing I noticed about it, it just seems to cast so much smoother. It falls through the water so much better. You wouldn't think that the difference between 5 and 6-pound fluorocarbon would be that great, but I don't know. To me, it just felt like the bait was just livelier, and the bait could fall much better. And of course, I caught a lot of fish. I didn't catch any keepers on the drop shot in this event, but I caught a lot of drop shot fish in this event, and I'm convinced that the 5-pound fluorocarbon made a difference. I will tell you this: the bites that I got, I never felt a single one of them. It was always a matter of just, shaking the tip of the rod on the drop shot and feeling it get a little bit heavy and then just reeling it up. Those are the kind of bites that they were. But I do feel like it made a difference, and, chalk this up to another lesson learned. I will be drop shotting with 5-pound fluorocarbon line from this point forward. I just got bit so many more times. damn dink. I know better than to fish stock treble hooks on a jigging spoon. Jigging spoons are notorious for not giving you the greatest hooks on them. And, you know, it's heartbreaking to me. I know this. I've learned this lesson plenty of times in the past. I used to guide. I used to take people fishing with jigging spoons. And I know that you should replace the treble hooks. But in this event, I just popped open a package with a half-ounce spoon, tied it on, and dropped it right on down there. And boy, did I pay the price. That fish that I lost I'm certain was in the 4-pound range. As it was coming up, it was coming to the boat, but it was tugging. You could feel the head, the head wobble, and it felt like a good fish. And basically got that fish up. The fish saw the boat, made a hard run, and the spoon just pulled out. I think in the future I would make sure that I used a more solid hook, maybe with a little bit deeper J-bend to it, longer shank. And, that's the problem with treble hook baits. I know I sound cliche saying this, but treble hook baits, the hooks pull out. And probably the worst are jigging spoons. So, lesson learned, replace the doggone stock hooks, put some good quality hooks on, and hopefully you don't have this problem that I had. Caymas Boats, from the mind of Earl Bentz. Excellence, tradition, and service, all part of the Caymas advantage. On the water perfection. This is your next boat. Build your next boat at CaymasBoats.com. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven rods, reels, and baits. The choice of champions. Check out ducketfishing.com to see what everybody's talking about. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven. And by Bait Pop. From the good folks who bought you fish formula, easy to apply, a thick paste that stays on your bait and gives your bait that extra pop it needs. Check them out at theoriginalfishformula.com. Basco Fishing is the official wardrobe partner of the Bass True Anglers podcast. Basco is making bass fishing fun again. Check them out at bascofishing.com. As I mentioned, given what I'm involved in now, I'm going to be at these kinds of events more often, and I do plan to capture them on video. I don't know how good of a cinematographer I am. Hopefully I get better as I go along. I certainly welcome any of your comments, criticisms. But this is what I plan to do to kind of document what I'm doing going forward. I will be at more and more of these kinds of events. As I get back into fishing tournaments, I plan to share the good, the bad, and the ugly of my days on the water. So if you can handle it, if you can handle watching this old rookie get back into tournament fishing, I think we'll find that it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully some lessons to be learned. Well, folks, thanks for watching this time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. Please like the video. Please share it with a friend. Share it with an enemy. Share it with somebody. But whatever you do, share it. Until next time, keep both hands on the wheel. Keep those life vests zipped and clipped. Be safe, and we'll talk to you again very soon.